Don't let her ghostly appearance fool you. Gwen, the Hallowed Seamstress, is traveling to the top lane and just longs to enjoy life, even if she does run with scissors. Her passive, 1,000 Cuts, empowers Gwen's attacks to deal bonus damage based on the target's maximum health. Gwen heals for part of the bonus damage against champions. They'll be sure to get the point. Point, you know, 'cause scissors. Snip Snip is Gwen's first ability. When she attacks, Gwen will apply up to 4 stacks of Snippy. Activate this ability to snip her scissors and use up your stacks, cutting an extra time for each one consumed. The center of each snip deals true damage and applies 1,000 cuts to enemies hit. Weave yourself a safety net with Gwen's second ability, Hallowed Mist. Summon the Hallowed Mist around Gwen, making her untargetable to all enemies outside the zone. While in the mist, Gwen gains bonus armor and magic resist. Gwen can recast this ability once to call the mist to her. It will automatically recast the first time she attempts to leave the zone. With her third ability, Skip and Slash, Gwen dashes forward and gains attack speed, attack range, and deals bonus damage for a few seconds. Her first attack will refund part of Skip and Slash's cooldown. Finally, leave your enemies in stitches with Gwen's ultimate, Needlework. Cast it to hurl a needle that deals damage in a line, slowing enemies for a few seconds and applying 1,000 cuts. After casting Needlework, Gwen can recast it up to 2 more times. Fire 3 more needles on your second cast and 5 more on your third cast for a painful prickly onslaught of damage. Yone, the Unforgotten, slices his way back from the spirit realm as a melee mid and top laner. His passive, Way of the Hunter, makes every other attack extra powerful, dealing a scaling amount of physical and magical damage. His first ability, Mortal Steel, deals physical damage in a straight line. Landing it grants a stack of Gathering Storm, which is tracked in the ability icon. At 2 stacks, Yone dashes in the target direction and unleashes a whirlwind that deals the same damage. Enemies hit by a dash or whirlwind are knocked up. Use Yone's second ability, Spirit Cleave, to slash in an arc. Yone gets a shield based on how many enemies he hits, which is increased if he hits a champion. Dive into the enemy backline with his third ability, Soul Unbound. Yone dashes in spirit form, leaving his body behind to gain move speed and mark champions that he damages. When Soul Unbound ends, Yone snaps back to his body, detonating the marks for true damage based on how much he dealt while active. Recast at any time to end the ability early. With his ultimate, Fate Sealed, Yone slashes all enemies in his path, blinking behind the last champion hit. He pulls enemies to the center of the line, knocking them up for a brief moment. Your enemies won't know what hit them. Nothing personal, kid. Warwick, the Uncaged Wrath of Zon, is a fearsome melee jungler who excels at chasing down low-health enemies from all over the map. Warwick's passive, Eternal Hunger, deals scaling magic damage on hit and heals Warwick for a portion if he's low on health. Jaws of the Beast, his first ability, lets Warwick lunge at an enemy to deal a percentage of their max health as magic damage. Hold down the ability to charge it. Let go to lunge behind an enemy, follow their movement, and deal damage. Follow your nose wherever it goes with his second ability, Blood Hunt. Passively, Blood Hunt marks low health enemy champions, granting bonus movement speed towards them, and attack speed versus low health enemies. Activate it to mark the nearest enemy champion and highlight the shortest path towards them. Strike fear into the hearts of your prey with Warwick's third ability, Primal Howl. Cast once to gain damage reduction and recast fear and slow nearby enemies. Warwick's ultimate, Infinite Duress, is a skill shot where Warwick leaps forward to collide with an enemy and interrupt their movement. During its short channel, the enemy is suppressed and revealed, and Warwick deals hefty magic damage, healing for a percentage. But don't get too comfortable. Infinite Duress can be ended by hard crowd control like stuns, polymorphs, and knockups. Rolling into the mid lane harder than a teenager rolls their eyes is Vex the Gloomist. With the power of Angst and her companion Shadow, Vex is a combo-loaded yordle of doom, gloom, and sarcasm. Vex's passive, Doom and Gloom, has 2 parts. Doom is a meter that fills over time, and when it's maxed out, Vex's next basic ability will interrupt dashes and fear all enemies hit. The second part, Gloom, marks nearby enemy champions who dash or blink within range of her with a Gloom mark. The mark can be consumed by Vex's basic attacks, first and second abilities to deal damage, and refund some of Doom's cooldown. Mistral Bolt, Vex's first ability, launches a wave that deals magic damage and detonates any Gloom marks. After a short delay, the wave accelerates but decreases in width. Take cover from damage and the world with her second ability, Personal Space. Vex gains a shield that absorbs damage for a few seconds and damages nearby enemies while also detonating glue marks. Looming Darkness, Vex's third ability, sends Shadow to a target location, dealing magic damage, slowing enemies, and marking enemies with gloom on arrival. Shadow increases in size the farther it travels. Finally, let all that rebellion come pouring out with Vex's ultimate, Shadow Surge. Send Shadow flying forward, marking the first enemy champion hit and dealing magic damage. Recast, and Shadow will pull Vex to the marked target, dealing even more damage. If an enemy dies shortly after being damaged by Shadow Surge, it can be recast at no cost within 12 seconds.